An 18-year-old sister actually likes a 90-year-old man just because she likes the old man's college grandson. But that brother doesn't like her. I also wanted to persuade my sister to give up, but that night I saw her at her grandpa's son's room. I was afraid that my sister would do something stupid, so I secretly stood under grandpa's son's window and eavesdropped. I didn't want to hear strange noises coming from the room. I couldn't understand, so I ran home to sleep. The next day, I was awakened by a loud noise. I got up and saw my sister kneeling at the door in disheveled clothes, and the neighbors around were still talking about my sister's lack of femininity. In an instant, I was stunned in place. It turned out that the sound I heard last night was, just before my brain could react, my mom was about to hit my sister with a broom. I quickly threw myself on my sister to protect her. "Mom, don't hit your sister." However, my mom saw that I was protecting my sister and was ready to hit me with a broom. "You still speak up for her. Do you also want to learn from your sister? Believe it or not, I'll beat you to death." At this time, the sister, who had not resisted all the time, turned around and protected me in her arms. "Mom, one person does things and one person takes responsibility. This is something I am willing to do, and it has nothing to do with Deanie." Upon hearing this, my mother roared angrily, "One person does things, one person takes responsibility. You tell me how you want to take responsibility." My sister remained calm and said, "Of course, marry Grandpa's son." My mom was so angry that she couldn't speak fluently after hearing it. "Do you know how old he is when you marry him? Do you know how old he was when he first married you? Anyway, unless I die, you won't be able to marry that old man." Although my mother said so, my sister eventually married Grandpa's son, mainly because my grandmother was bedridden and urgently needed the dowry money from the Son family, so my father agreed to the marriage. My mother was so angry that she refused to come out of the house again, and in the end I had to help my sister arrange the wedding. On her wedding day, I couldn't understand why my sister would marry an old man. She likes Brother's Son Crossing, so I cried and asked his sister, "Are you really going to marry an old man? That would be your lifelong happiness." However, my older sister gently wiped away the tears from my face. "Silly Nini, you yourself said that he was an old man. So how could it be my lifelong happiness? Since he is an old man, he doesn't have many years to live." Don't forget the marriage system in our village. Upon hearing this, I was completely stunned. It turned out that our village was a collateral branch of the ancient ancestor of Privet. Although hundreds of years have passed, some customs have still been preserved, which is now the practice of offering sacrifices to wives. As long as a man dies, his wife will be inherited by men in the family, and brothers are generally given priority before sons and grandsons. But why did older sister bring this up? Wait for older sister. Does she want to marry Grandpa's son first, and then wait for Grandpa's son to die before inheriting it from Brother's Son Crossing? But Brother's Son Crossing is Grandpa's son's grandson. With so many undecided son families, how many people would have to die before Brother's Son Crossing could get his turn? For a moment, I felt a chill all over my body, and then the matchmaker at the door began to urge my sister. Sister covered her head with a red veil and kissed my forehead. "Don't worry, Nini, sister is going to pursue her own happiness." But I didn't expect that just 3 months later, News of Grandpa's son's death and his sister's bid came from the village. Mom was originally worried that her sister wanted to go to Son's house to take a look, but as soon as she went out, she heard rumors about her sister and was so angry that she walked home halfway. In the end, I went alone to worship Grandpa's son. When I arrived at the door of the Sun family, I heard them arguing about my sister's ownership. They argued until their faces turned red, while the older sister sat on the chair, smiling. At this time, it was still Brother Sun Crossing who stood up with an angry face and stopped him. "You've had enough. What about the collection marriage system? This is the dregs of culture and should have been abolished long ago. Lin Chen is an independent individual and is qualified to choose her own marriage." After speaking, he looked at my sister with a gentle expression. "Shocking. I know that marrying my grandfather was an accident. Now that my grandfather has passed away, you can choose to go back to your own home and marry the person you truly love." However, my sister glanced at Brother Sun Crossing and said, "I'm not going back. Since I'm married, I'll be a member of your Sun family in life and a ghost in death. I can marry any man in the Sun family." Sun Crossing was stunned when he heard this, but his uncles were very excited. The two of them quarreled again, and in the end, Sun Yi won. That night, my older sister put on the red wedding dress again and was sent to Sun Yi's courtyard. While drinking outside, I sneaked into my sister's room and wanted to ask her an answer. Grandpa saw me standing still and said he wanted to pull me out. "Why is it you? Hurry back. This is not the place you should be." I broke free from his hand and grabbed my sister's arm with my backhand. "Sister, tell me, Grandpa's son's death has nothing to do with you, right?" She heard my question, paused for a moment, then touched my head and said, "Silly child, what are you talking about? How could I possibly kill innocent people?" When I heard this answer, I instantly breathed a sigh of relief. I was afraid that my sister would really do such a terrible thing as killing someone just to marry Brother Sun Crossing. I wanted to say something else, but I didn't expect to hear any noise outside the window. My sister's face changed, and she pushed me into the wardrobe. Through the crack in the wardrobe door, I saw Uncle Sun sneak into the room. As soon as he entered, he wanted to kiss his sister's face. "My little baby, I'm so jealous. Let me smell you quickly." Sister hurriedly swept towards the direction of the cabinet and pushed Uncle Sun. "Uncle Sun, don't do this." Sister's refusal instantly angered Uncle Sun. Without saying a word, he slapped Sister in the face and cursed, "You despicable person. It's not the first time you've shamelessly given me face. What are you pretending to be?" As he spoke, he pressed his sister on the table and kissed her. Her sister struggled violently and pushed over the large vase on the table, which shattered on the ground and made a huge noise. At the same time, the older sister shouted, "Second master, come and save me quickly." Sun Yi, who was drunk, rushed in. As soon as he entered the door, he saw his newly married little wife being pressed down by his nephew. He was immediately angry and picked up the wine bottle to smash it. "Are you looking for death?" The scene suddenly became chaotic. I wanted to peek, but my clothes blocked my view. I could only hear a lot of jingling and screams outside. I don't know how long it took for it to quiet down. The cabinet door was suddenly opened, and I saw my sister's face covered in blood, panting in front of me. "Sister, I looked at her dumbfounded and was about to speak, but she roughly pulled me out of the wardrobe and shouted at me, "Let's go, cover your eyes and don't look at anything." I was really scared at this moment, unable to think at all. I could only cover my eyes tightly as my sister said, stumble out the door, and run all the way back home. I buried myself in the quilt and shivered all night. It wasn't until the next morning that my mother dragged me out of the room. "What are you doing hiding in the room? Quickly change your clothes and come with me to Son's house." I suddenly shuddered when I heard the words Son's family. "Why are you going to Son's family?" Mom's face turned pale as she spoke. Son's second uncle and son, Alan, both died last night. Grandpa's son passed away, and just a few days later, 2 more people died in our family. Suddenly, 2 lives were lost. Now my family can no longer pretend that it has nothing to do with them. Mom and Dad then took me to the Sun family. The Sun family's intention was very clear, which was to bring my sister back home and return all the gift money they gave me at the beginning. Upon hearing this, my father and mother's expressions changed, because the original gift money had already been used to pay for my grandmother's medical expenses, and now there was not a penny left, so my father could only politely apologize with a smile. "The daughter can be taken away, but can this dowry let us take it slow?" The second son of the Sun family slapped the table and sneered, saying that you want to default on the debt. "Okay, it doesn't matter if you can't come up with money. Just exchange people for it." As he spoke, the second son of the Sun family looked at me and smiled lecherously. "Since the eldest daughter is not capable, why not bring the youngest daughter to our house instead? No, your family has already mistreated one of my daughters. Don't even think about mistreating my other daughter." Mom immediately pointed at Son Erlang's nose and cursed. Son Erlang's smiling face suddenly collapsed. "If you refuse to send someone over, then pay the money and spit out the betrothal gifts within 3 days. Do you believe that I will sell your eldest daughter directly?" At this point, my parents' faces turned pale, because Son Erlang is a well-known jerk in our village, and he really does what he says. When I got home, my parents hurriedly cooked me a bowl of noodles and let me go to sleep, but I couldn't sleep. So I secretly went to my parents' yard to take a look, and heard my dad say that there was no money at home. "Tomorrow I will go find old John to work in the mine." Upon hearing this, my mother panicked. Many people who went to the mine die, and those who didn't die also got strange lung diseases. "You can't go," Dad interrupted Mom again angrily. "You want me to watch my daughter die? It's settled like that. Go to sleep." The light in the room went out, but I heard my mother still crying. I sat outside my parents' house for a long, long time. I don't know how long it took, but my mother's crying inside finally quieted down. When the sky lit up, I finally came to my senses. I stood up abruptly, wiped my face carelessly, regardless of my numb hands and feet, and stumbled towards the Sun family. I ran all the way to Son's house, hanging the door like crazy. At this time, it was just dawn, and soon I heard Son Erlang's grumbling voice. Early in the morning, "Who is it? Are you still letting people sleep?" He opened the door and saw me at the door and was stunned. But I was red-eyed, watching him squeeze out words from between his teeth. "Didn't you want me to marry you? Okay, I'll marry you. I know this is my only choice. I can't watch my dad die, and I can't watch my sister be sold. Then I can only choose to marry into the Sun family, even if I know it's a fire pit. I still want to jump." Sun Erlang laughed loudly when he heard my words. "Good girl, you're really a good girl. All right, Uncle won't talk nonsense with you, and we won't talk about those empty theories. Today, we'll just have sex with Uncle." After speaking, he picked me up without saying a word, hurriedly walked towards the bedroom, threw me on the bed, and pounced on me to kiss me. My tears streamed down, and my sister always told me that in the future, I must find a kind and respectful boy who respects women. When he is with me, he will be gentler than Dad to Mom and take care of me like a treasure. But I didn't expect that for the first time I would be intimate with a middle-aged man who could almost be my father, rough and without any tenderness. The more I thought about it, the more I felt overwhelmed. Suddenly, Sun Erlang's body stiffened. I looked up and found that Sun Erlang's eyes were wide open. His body was first straightened, and then he slowly fell on me. There was a knife on his back, and my sister was standing behind him. I came to my senses, belatedly screamed, pushed Sun Erlang's heavy body away, and ran out like crazy. At this moment, my older sister grabbed me and covered my mouth. "Nini, don't scream. Calm down." Mingming's older sister still had a strong smell of blood on her, but when she hugged me, I miraculously calmed down. I trembled and looked up at him. "Sister, it was you who killed Sun Erlang." Just now I had an emotional breakdown and didn't pay attention to anything. I think my sister sneaked into the room while Sun Erlang was in it and stabbed him to death with a dagger from behind. Sure enough, my sister nodded, and my face instantly turned even paler. What about Grandpa's son, second master's son, and Sun Dalin? Did you also kill them, sister? Watching my sister kill Sun Erlang just now with one fatal blow so calm, it's not the first time. Looking back on everything before, how can I not doubt? This time, my older sister didn't deny it to me again and nodded. Almost the last trace of blood faded from my face, and I trembled as I spoke. "Why is it just two merry brothers uncrossing?" My sister continued to nod, and I shook off my sister's hand like an electric shock. I couldn't help but cry out loud, "Sister, you are crazy, just two merry brothers uncrossing. You have to kill so many innocent people." My anger at this moment is not because of the death of the Sun family, but because my sister has become like this for the so-called love. Is this still the gentle and kind sister I know? Sister heard my words and showed a strange smile. "Nini, what silly thing are you saying?" She wasn't angry, just spoke to me gently. "When Uncle Sun died, I told you that I wouldn't kill innocent people." I was stunned and about to speak, but my sister interrupted me again. "All the people I killed deserve to die." I was stunned, and my older sister had already pointed to Sun Erlang on the bed. "For example, like him who wanted to rob our house and even hit you? Shouldn't he deserve to die?" I fell silent indeed. Sun Erlang is a well-known jerk in the village. Before he tried to push our family to a dead end this time, he had done countless bad things. Not to mention anything else, he actually has 5 wives in the house, many of whom are tyrants who force themselves on others. Such people really deserve to die. But I couldn't help but ask, what about the others? Should Uncle Son, second Uncle Son, and Uncle Son also die? The smile on my sister's face became even more strange, and she whispered, "Of course, for example, Uncle Son, don't you know that he bullied our mother when he was young?" I shuddered suddenly. What? My older sister spoke with a disgusted expression. "You were not born at that time, probably when I was 5 years old. Grandpa's son bullied Mom, and Dad found out and went to argue with him, but never fought back. Later, Dad became depressed and fell into the mud after getting drunk. Uncle Son is a complete jerk. He deserves to die. So I used some medicine to pretend to make him too excited and die. My limbs are cold, no wonder. When I first learned that my sister was going to marry Grandpa's son, my mother's reaction was so intense that it was abnormal. Is this the reason? My voice was trembling. And then Grandpa's son and Grandpa's son. Son Yee's was an accident. My sister sneered. He wasn't killed by me. It was Son Dowling who killed him when they were fighting that day. But Son Dowling was killed by me. In the bottom of my sister's eyes, a stronger hatred flashed in this moment. Because this jerk bullied me 5 years ago, he deserves to die.